So next up in this HP150 computer is this very heavy HP9133 hard drive floppy drive combo. This box is really heavy. I'm not sure, it's almost got to have like a full height hard drive in it based on the weight. We'll find out when we get inside. Interesting enough, there's a asset tag on the side over here. So I'm not exactly sure how this hard drive was acquired. It is very dirty, as you can see. And I'm going to go ahead and just do some surface cleaning. Just some Windex and paper towel, and then we'll go from there. Don't need to get too much on here. I don't want it running down into those grooves. Although I don't think those go through to the insides. Let's see if we can get some of this off. Windex actually makes a pretty good cleaner for this kind of stuff. It knocks a lot of, as you saw there, a lot of that just, it knocked right off. And right now I'm more worried about just keeping my hands somewhat clean. Because obviously the case will need a deeper clean. But that'll happen at a future date. Some of whatever this stuff that was on here was is kind of sticky. And that's the other reason I'm kind of avoiding it, is I'm not sure what got on here. I think landscapers are outside. I live in a condo complex and we have landscapers. So I really don't like yard work. It works for me. I have looked in the service manual for this drive. It showed half height hard drives. But like I say, the weight to me feels like it's going to have a full height in it. You know, and in the manual, the sizes were like 5 and 10 megabyte, I think, were the only two options that they showed in that manual. And I'm sure that there was larger than that available pretty quickly. It's got one actual chip here, it feels like, in that plastic finish, or, well, we'll find out. So it's a little bit easier to touch, not quite as grubby. The rubber feet have failed on all these components and have left some residue behind. You may have saw some almost cork looking stuff up here on top that I think was from one of those. So with that done, let's pull these screws out. Wish I had the bigger Phillips up here. I don't know where it got lost at. And you will be, just like me, we will both see the inside of this together. I have not been inside of it yet. I haven't applied power to it. I do know that the floppy drive is not working. It's the same issue the other unit had, where you can't get a floppy into the drive. It's dead lubrication on the floppy drive that basically keeps you from loading a floppy. So that does. Okay, it pulls back. Get a little bit of the Windex kind of slot down through there. So we'll clean that out. I can see that it's really dusty and dirty inside, so there's definitely some use on this. Interesting enough, the inside of the lid, so it's true Faraday cage. You can see the metal on the inside of the lid, the back panel, so it really is, looks like very well RF shielded. There's a lot packed away in here. I believe this front panel needs to come off as well to really gain access. I believe that's going to be that screw. And I think that one. And the same two on the other side. It was interesting to find that 6809 processor in the floppy drive unit, that 9121. We'll have to see if I can spot what's going on inside of here. So, yeah, it's a full, I think it's a full height hard drive. Let me see if I can release this cable. Oh, that was interesting. Okay, that's got to be how that was on there. Hang on. Again, lots of shielding, places for airflow. It's very dusty inside. Yeah, full height hard drive mechanism. You can see it here, and just dusty inside. The first thing I'm kind of after is that floppy drive so that we can hopefully service it. Yeah, again, it's very jammed up, just gummed up, and I'm sure it's just dry lubrication. So what else is there to see here, if anything, without really me getting in here with the vacuum and getting some dusting done, because I'm going to have to do that before I go much deeper. Yep, bring some more screw. So these two screws should hopefully release the floppy drive, and they have. Wow, that hard drive makes this box really heavy. Completely release the floppy drive, I hope. Oh no, that wasn't the floppy drive power. I had assumed that was the floppy drive power there, but it was not. It's actually much harder to get at. Wow, that's an interesting design choice. There's a little cable that's just maybe 2 inches down there onto the power for the floppy. This little guy right here is the floppy power, and it's literally connected right down in there. It's not even 2 inches long. Yeah, there's definitely been some runtime on the system. Just the amount of dust. So there's a WD chip a WD1010AL, which I believe is part of a hard drive controller. Some HP internal house number stuff here. I'd have to look it up. Let me get the other glasses on and see kind of at this top level what I can recognize, if anything. Another 8291. I don't remember what that is. 2016, so a 2K static RAM. Some of these are just regular logic. 18th week 48, 84, 84. So that, you know, early 84 looks to be when that board was manufactured. EEPROM. It's 28 pins, so it's at least a 64K, if not bigger. It's an 8291. I don't recognize it. Another 8291. House number. Another ROM. TTL logic. Everything I've read does say these units have self-test built in. You can toggle it off some of the dip switches here or jumpers. I just haven't got far enough to even give that a try. Definitely needs to be tore much further down and cleaned. Yeah, so the usage of the computer this was with was really with the hard drive unit. You know, that floppy drive unit, the 9120, when we opened it, was really, really clean inside. Looked like there was very low hours on it. But this box definitely shows some usage and time. So, trying to determine if there's a way to get that board kind of up out of there without too much trouble. Oh, yuck. Wouldn't mind getting a peek underneath it. Oh, that is tight. I got it. All these little bits of wire. Wow, that is really tight. I wish there was pulls on these. Okay, it is labeled LED and fan, so there is silk screening to indicate what goes where there. That's good to know. I see one very large screw back here holding that board in place. Oh, great. There it is. And I suspect the other thing holding it in place is going to be the screw here. Is this connector here is going to need to be broken loose as well. there be the hard drive. Set this back here. I had hoped to see the, yeah, definitely an MFM. So I see what we've got now. We've got control and data on these two cables coming up from it. So that controller card really does only control one hard drive. It hasn't got a second data port on it. I don't know if I can see down in there to see. Seagate Technologies. Odds are really good this drive wasn't parked. Model ST419. So it's an ST419, whatever size that is. Odds are it wasn't parked. Who knows how this has been handled. It'll be interesting to see if it'll spin up, what version of DOS it might have on it, etc. I believe there was versions of DOS through 3 something. Local configuration jumpers installed. Well, let's find the jumpers here and see if that'll tell us. So jumpers installed. Jumpers installed on J3, spares on J6. So it has got A and C jumpered, which is 15 megabytes. So it's, according to the back marking, that's a whole 15 megabyte drive, which at the time was fantastically huge. I remember my first 20 megabit, the first hard drive I ever owned was a 20 megabit, and it seemed incredibly huge at the time. It's hard to believe we have terabyte drives today. It's hard to believe we have multiple terabytes on my main editing system with high, with a huge amount of the disk space actually used. So anyhow, I'm going to wrap this one up at this point. We'll come back, another video, perhaps do some more cleaning. I'll get that floppy drive serviced, and we'll go from there.